Gay son or thought daughter? Which one are you choosing? A lot of people ask this question, and me personally, I think it's a stupid question. So let me ask you a different question along the same lines. Incel son or thought daughter? Now, if you don't know what an incel is basically someone who's kind of like involuntarily celibate. They're shut in for the most part. They get no bitches, and it's just they're having a hard time in the getting female department, right? And don't worry, it's not limited to just men. This is a gender inclusive role you can play. It's not like in in Naruto, where all the healers, like all the healing people, the medical ninjutsu users are female. No. Women can play this role too. So we're not leaving people out. It's 2025, man. We gotta get inclusive, dog. So yeah. Incel son or thought daughter? I feel like that's a better and more fair question to ask. Because number one, think about it. It's 2025, dog. What exactly is the problem with having a gay son? Now I can understand if you're like super conservative and you're just like, oh, we need to keep it pure over here. I can understand that. But honestly, are we really like saying being gay is worse than being a provocative and performative person? Not a woman, just a person in general. Because even being a performative and promiscuous man is a problem too. But I'll get into that a little bit later. The point is, would you rather have a son that's involuntarily celibate, no pussy, no, not for him, no bueno? Or would you have rather have a daughter that gets around? Now, I think, like I said, I think that's a more fair question. And if you ask me, that shit gets hard. It's a hard question to answer now. Now I actually have to think. Now, but ultimately, I've asked this question to like a handful of my friends, and ultimately it comes down to having an incel son. Because you gotta think about it. My son is not leaving behind a legacy to carry on. You know what I mean? Versus, like, he's just being a bitch. That's all. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all have that phase. Like, man, look, when I was just a jit, man, just in middle school, and COVID hit, all that jazz, right? Before COVID, I was a loser, man. I was lame. So like 6th grade, yeah, I was like lame as hell, no bitches. I didn't look too good either at the time. I was a little odd. I was a little weird. I was the kid that was running the hallways, Naruto running, man. That was me. Shit, I still got my Naruto headbands now. I think I still have the Naruto costume I wore for Halloween in the 6th grade as well, along with having an Akatsuki cloak, but I'll get into that a little later. Point is, I was lame. And you know what? I had every right to be an incel. But you know what I chose instead? To not be a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Most I did was cry every night. Maybe every night too, but that was it. Like, I wasn't like, man, fuck women. I can't do this. You know what? These women don't know better. When I became an incel, it was after that. So after the 6th grade, the summer into the 7th grade, I had my little training arc, right? I was like, you know what? I'm going to become the Hokage next year. I'm going to be great and do great things and aspire to be the hottest man in that school. Because I went to a very small school. So that wasn't a hard feat, right? So, I tried and I trained that whole summer, man. And I was like, you know what? I was adding more goals on top of it once I started seeing results. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to make every sports team while I'm at it. So then I did So then I was training and training. Thankfully, my dad, he played every sport back in the day, so he knew how to get me right. So I was training for that whole summer, man, running across my street, doing HIIT workouts all the time. And then I got locks too. That was my first set of locks. And I was just going crazy, making it happen, right? Come back, 7th grade, I'm buff. Puberty hit me pretty decently. So my voice was all deep. I was a little swole. And I was getting the huzz, man. I was getting the huzz. And then COVID hit, right? COVID hit, and when I was going into COVID, I had a girlfriend, man. I was doing good in sports. Life was set, man. I was living life, dude, living like Larry. And then COVID hit, and honestly, it didn't hit me that hard, but it did turn me into an incel. Like because you weren't talking to nobody. And as a man who was previously an incel, like I don't wish being an incel upon anybody, because it's a hard place to get out of. You know what I'm saying? Especially like the internet doesn't make it no better. If I was an incel now, oh fuck no. No, I could not do this. Dude, not in a sense that like I couldn't be an incel, but more of in a sense that I would be more encouraged to be an incel. I would have even more of a reason to be an incel, because on the internet, that's all they talk about. They're like, oh man, these hoes ain't shit. These hoes ain't loyal. When. So if you stay on the internet for too long, which, that's what I was doing during COVID and when I was an incel, right? That's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to believe. And that's all you're going to know, right? But, thankfully, I was, what's it called? What was popping off when I was an incel? It was that Andrew Tate? No, it wasn't Andrew Tate. What was popping off? Feminism. I think it was. There was just a lot of things about feminism at the time and on the news. And, this was around the time when they made it to where trans individuals could participate in men and women's sports. It was around that time, right? So thankfully, my incelism wasn't as bad as these incels can get now. It's terrifying, man. Some of these incels be on some weird shit, man. So when people are like gay son, thought daughter, it's like, what are we doing? What are we thinking, dog? Like, what's going on? There is no problem with having a gay son. If anything, if you're having problems with having a gay son, then you got something going on up here, dog. Like, I hate to say it, something ain't right mentally, because, like, to some degree, I understand. Like, for me, as long as my son is not making his gayness his personality, then we're all good. If he has a personality outside of being gay, we're all good, man. Have fun, bro. Oh, and he's required to be a dom. He's required to be a top. If he's a bottom, I have to disown him. I'm sorry. Just, you have to be a top, but can't be no bottom. You can't be taking it. You got to be dishing it, bro. Then, yeah, as long as you're doing those two things, be as gay as you like, man. Be as gay as you like. Because being gay is a spectrum. And that's probably a topic for another video, man. I'll probably make that the next video. But, there are just some things that are gay, but they're the straightest gay thing you can do. You know what I mean? But like I said, another topic for another video. So, with being an incel son, you're not leaving behind a legacy, right? You're not leaving behind something that can ruin your career. Cause at some point, like, people are gonna look back and be like, I remember that phase in your life. Man, you were a loser, but look at you now. If you changed since then, right? versus, being a thought daughter, man. It's just, you leave behind a legacy. People see that and they're gonna be like, whoa, like, hey, this, changes my perception of you and how I feel about you now. It ruins a lot of things, man, for her personally. It's not even having a thought daughter. Me not having a thought daughter is not for the sake of me. It's for the sake of her and her best interest. You know what I mean? Because I'm very big on, hey, people are finna do whatever they want to do, no matter how they feel or no matter who chooses to stop them. You can't control everybody, and you can't really do anything substantial to most people to get them to change the way that they act. All you have is influence. And if your influence is strong enough, then that's the only way you can really get them to do anything that you need them to do. But if it's not, then, there's nothing they can do. And part of having a strong enough influence is also just, they have to be somewhat there already. Like, they have to be contemplating in their mind, like, hey, is being this way, okay? You know what I mean? Like, they have to already be on the fence about it. But if they're dead set on it, oh, there's nothing you can do. No. So, at the end of the day, if my daughter's gonna be like that, hey, it is what it is. But, like, obviously that's gonna impact her a lot more than she thinks. Because, hey, you might be having a good time now, but just wait until a year from now. Wait until one dude forgets to, wrap it up. Wait until one dude goes crazy and doesn't say anything. You can't be calling me now. Don't call dad, bro. Dad ain't finna do nothing for you. Dad's just gonna sit back and relax and say, I told you so. And when you have that son, I expect you to have that figured out. Either have it figured out, or the boy you were messing with better have stepped up. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take on that. Incel son for the win. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, also, an incel son is just easier to influence as well. Because it's not like they refuse to get bitches and they choose to be that way. No, they want to get hoes. They want to get play. But they just can't. And that's easy, way easier to fix and change, because they want to change for the most part. Most of them want to change. So that's way easier to fix and do something about compared to a thought daughter. Because if I have a thought daughter, it's just like, oh, that's something she want to do. If she wants to explore her sexuality, go ahead. Like, I mean, there's nothing I can do. I can put restrictions on her, but at the end of the day, she's gonna find a way to bend the rules and figure out a way to slip through them. Yeah, I say let her have her experience. Incel son, however, this nigga not choosing to be bitchless. Hell no. He just needs some help. He needs some guidance. And also, you're not gonna have an incel son if you are a strong male, if they have a strong male figure in the household. Almost impossible, man. You're not gonna have an incel son if you have presence in your household. So it's same thing with thought daughter. If you have presence in your household, those things aren't gonna happen. So at the end of the day, it's not about thought daughter or incel son. It's not about thought daughter or incel son. It's about being a good father or a bad one.